Alright, what's going on everybody? It's C-Wing with another video, and today we're going to do the favorite handheld games. I'm not really a handheld gamer, I'll just start off with that, but when I do run across a game that hooks me that's a handheld, it definitely is special because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a handheld guy. So these games that I list here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, these 10 games I'm going to list here are truly special, and I think you should check them out one way or another, where you have to shiver me timbers or collect them. I think that they are worth looking into. Alright, so let's get started. I know I've talked about this in other videos, but Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles for the PSP. This was released in 2007 by Konami. I'm a Konami guy. I didn't realize that. I always thought I was a Capcom guy, but I think I'm a Konami guy. But this game, Koji Igarashi made a masterpiece. The hype was so good behind it. The graphics are amazing. The music's really good. The combat's fun. There's a ton of secrets. They even have a rendition of Demon Seed that's in this game that sounds excellent. I listened to it over and over, and they even have Symphony of the Night in this version, so it's packed with content, and I even think it has the original Rondo of Blood in there, so there's a ton of stuff in this game. If you don't like the Dracula X rendition, you can play Rondo of Blood, you can play Symphony of the Night, although it's not the original voice cast, I think it's the updated Symphony of the Night voice cast, which I prefer the cheesy voice actors. But yeah, it's the perfect handheld game. I remember when I played it, I felt like this was something special, and I was like, God, I think only the PSP could pull this off, because the 3D looked excellent in this game. So yeah, I highly recommend it. My favorite handheld game of all time. Meteos for the Nintendo DS. This one is a lot of fun. Puzzle games are perfect on handhelds. Meteos, it was really addicting, and I really liked the music, and it made use of the touch screen and the second screen. So you have puzzle pieces that fall from the sky. The first screen, they come down. The second screen, you line up your puzzle pieces, or you can kind of chuck them up into puzzle pieces that have exploded upwards to kind of give that piece momentum to fly off into the sky and stuff. I would sink hours and hours and hours into this game, and I remember I went to E3 2005, which is the year that this game was released, and I remember playing this and WarioWare, and thank God it kept me company, and just, yeah, it's just cool. It makes, I don't know, you feel, it's gonna sound silly, you feel smarter for playing it. Like, it keeps the cognitive wheels going. But yeah, I don't even know if they've released it for anything else. Meteos was a really fun puzzle game. I wish there was more of it, but yeah, if you can get your hands on it, I would definitely get Meteos for the Nintendo DS. Speaking of puzzle games, I bet you guys didn't know this one. I'm gonna blow your mind with this. Kind of a sleeper hit, and also a hidden gem of Shigeru Miyamoto's. He actually produced this game, but it was Mania that came out in 1997 for the Game Boy. It's a lot of fun. It's a puzzle game. I would consider it, it's not really an action adventure, but you can hit enemies with big cabbages and bowling balls and stuff, so there is a little bit of action, but you can traverse underground, you can throw fruits and vegetables in the hole, and you're supposed to rescue your family. So there's interesting elements of action and stuff, and there's early seeds, no pun intended, planted with Miyamoto incorporating gardening into his games. So I'm looking at you, Pikmin. I think it started with Mania. The graphics look good, the music still sounds great. I think it's available. I have it for my 3DS. I think it's on Nintendo Switch, the Game Boy section. Correct me if I'm wrong, you can go double check there, but I would be shocked because Mania is made by Nintendo, so it's only a matter of time, and it's Miyamoto's baby. Like, it'll be there, so, well, eventually, if it's not there already. You should check it out. Another DS game. This one might blow your mind too. Mario 3-on-3 Hoops for the Nintendo DS was made by Squaresoft. Yes, the RPG guys made a basketball game for the DS, and it plays really well. It's a lot of fun. The dribbling is just you tapping on the screen, throwing the passes, doing crazy NBA Jam type dunks, and then they have the Final Fantasy characters mixed in with Nintendo characters. I don't know why people don't talk about this game more. I don't know why there haven't been more series of Square Nintendo doing wacky sports games, because this was a lot of fun, and the graphics were, I think they hold up well. They're stylized. It showcases the DS's strengths while hiding its weaknesses. The graphics look really well. They're like simplified chibi kind of characters, but it looks really good. The music's surprisingly good, so definitely look into it. Metroid Prime Pinball, holy crap. This one might be number 2 or 3 on my top. If I were to rank them, I would put Dracula X Chronicles in first, and then he eats out of this or Donkey Kong 94. This is rough. This is like picking kids. Another Nintendo DS game released in 2005. God, this one's so much fun. I actually play this still. In my 3DS, I have a copy of Metroid Prime Pinball just in there. You know, by the way, it's a good idea to have a physical game inside of your DS or 3DS. It prevents dust going in there, water droplets, so I would suggest that in my game, Metroid Prime Pinball, because I know I'm going to fire that up and play it. Even to this day, my mom has a copy of the game, I have a copy of the game. When we only had one copy of the game, we would actually compete against each other, and I would come home and she'd beat my record, and then I'd play to try to beat her record. But the graphics are amazing. The music's straight up from the GameCube. It sounds exactly like it. There's even missions where you land in the middle of the table and you can shoot creatures with like beams and weapons and stuff and get into like legit boss fights. It's insane. Like this is a pinball game and it's done really well. I don't know how Nintendo could do this. Maybe with the Switch 2, I don't know how they would do this, but I hope they can figure out a way to make Metroid Pinball a thing again. Either make a new version or you could somehow bring it to the classic online console collection, but it's a crime that it's not there. It's seriously one of the best handheld games ever made. It's in my top 3 for sure. So you cannot go wrong. It's pinball. It'll never get old. You will always try to beat your record. There's great music, great atmosphere. I love the rain when it starts to rain. There's ice stages. This game should not go as hard as it does, but it does. Donkey Kong 94. I just remember it being called Donkey Kong, but for shorthand, looking it up, you can just type in Donkey Kong 94. I know for sure that is on the Switch 2 classic Nintendo Switch Online section. I know it's there. I've played it. I've streamed it. Oh my god. I remember. So I originally got this. I just randomly got it, I think, as a Christmas gift along with the Super Game Boy. You know, you'd put it in your Super Nintendo, you'd put it in, and it would have like, I remember I'd always play in the movie theater stage because I always thought it was cool that I felt like people were watching me in the movie theater. But also in Donkey Kong 94, Mario is performing in front of an audience. If you watch the opening credits, he's performing in front of an audience. And fun fact, so Donkey Kong 1, 2, and 3, you know, the arcade games and on the NES, Donkey Kong 94 is the last game of that series. And I still to this day think that Donkey Kong 94 beats Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I mean, those are nice graphical overhauls and stuff, but it doesn't get any better than the music and the graphics and the sound effect of Donkey Kong 94. That game has spirit up the wazoo. There's so much content that they squeezed into this freaking game. Like, there's 101 stages, and just the amount of stuff he can do, like little backflips and stuff, and shortcuts he can take on stages. I would argue it's probably the best original Game Boy game ever made. I'll say that much. I'm still waiting. I hope that Nintendo Switch Online gives us an option to play that as the Super Game Boy version, but either way, you can't go wrong. But I still like the Super Game Boy version. That's kind of cool. And it'd be kind of meta to play, because, okay, you're playing a handheld game on a device that was meant for a console, but you could also play that on a handheld, which would be the Switch 2. That would be like a very meta kind of thing. It'd be really cool. It's like square rooting it twice. It's so much fun. You seriously cannot go wrong. I almost want to rank it above Metroid Prime Pinball. So we've got top 3. It's Dracula X Chronicles, and it's either Metroid Prime Pinball or Donkey Kong 94. That is how good Donkey Kong 94 is. It hangs with PSP games and Nintendo DS games. Luminous for the PSP. You know, it was Meteos that got me hooked into handheld puzzle games, and then freaking Luminous, it took me right there. I remember feeling so cool because I was playing it on PSP, and the stereo music that was there, and like the FMV backgrounds, and just the colors that were there. I remember I was working at a hotel. I was working at Hawthorne Suites, and I would take my PSP into work, and we would play Work Time Fun and Luminous. And then when I bring my DS to work, we'd play Brain Age. But these are games that normal people or normies would play. That's the correct word. Normies would play, and they'd go, "Oh wow, this is really cool. I like the puzzle game. I like the colors. Can I play that?" It's a game that everybody would play and not be intimidated by, and then they'd be kind of marveled at the colors and the music and stuff like that. They would definitely have a favorite stage and a favorite track. Very well done game. Speaking of Brain Age, we got Brain Age for the Nintendo DS. I thought this game was so cool because you could speak to your console. You could flip it open like a book, and you could do the puzzles, and you'd say like blue, but it'd be colored red, and they would just give you like these weird kind of like brain twisters, and you would test your age out. And I remember my coworkers would go nuts over this game. They would be like, "Hey, did you bring it over? Like, what's my score? What's my age? Okay, well, I'm moving up. Oh, I'm moving down." And it would be like a competition amongst the coworkers, and I think it's like 2-minute sessions a day. And I loved the professor, like the poly polygon head that would kind of float around and talk to you. I thought it was super cool, and I don't see Nintendo doing Brain Age type games anymore. That game was amazing. That should have been the game that sold the DS to the stratosphere. I think it did, but God, it was perfect. It was like hardcore for gamers, normies liked it. It challenged you to do better. You felt better playing it the more you played it, and the technological advancements on this system were pretty cool. Like your system, you could talk to it. I'd never seen anything like it before. All right, and we got Kirby's Blockball for the Game Boy. This is another one that's a lot of fun. Okay, so this was released in North America in 1996 for the original Game Boy. It kind of reminds me of Arkanoid, but with Kirby characters, but instead of just being up, down, you could do left, right, or down, up. You could just play all over the entire screen, and it was really cool. I know after like a long day sometimes, just playing Kirby's Blockball, it's a really good stress reliever. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, basically Arkanoid. It's actually a better version of Arkanoid. The graphics hold up really well. Again, the chibi style and just the pea soup colored green graphics of the Game Boy. It doesn't deter from the fact that it's a really good game. It's a really fun game. And again, it's a game that normies would play. Like my dad would play it. So you can't go wrong with Kirby's Blockball. All right, last but not least, we've got Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance. This was released in 2002. I have a special memory about this one. This one might even take me a little bit longer. I didn't expect to even tell this story, but okay. I was working at EB Games. I was a key holder at EB Games in November of 2002. We had coworkers leaving. We had 3 coworkers leaving. I was the only one that was staying. And I remember I was shrink wrapping stuff in the back, and I come out and I see this girl at the Metroid kiosk. And in the kiosk, we had Metroid Prime and there's Metroid Fusion, and we were really pumping those out because they were going to be released in November. And I remember my coworkers like, go talk to her. And I'm like, well, who'd she come in with? Boyfriend, brother, father, like who was it? And he's like, nobody, she came in by herself, don't be a chicken. So I don't remember how I got behind her. I think I had to put games away, but we ended up talking, and she was super cool, like one of the coolest human beings I ever met. Yeah, her name was Mona, and I think that's another reason why I find Metroid Fusion so special, is because I attached this connection I made with somebody that was special to me back then. I guess I could go into the whole story. Fuck it, why not? The video is kind of short anyway. Let's go. But yeah, we were talking about Metroid, and I guess her brother played Metroid, and they grew up Nintendo fans. I'm not really a guy that holds eye contact, but we held eyes, and I remember she was talking about the GameCube. She wasn't sure about it, but she wanted Metroid Fusion because she liked old school 2D games, so that my kind of girl. But she asked me what kind of GameCube game I would recommend, and I said Beach Spikers, and she punches me in the stomach. Keep in mind, I just met her, and she goes, you're just saying that because there's girls on the cover, and I'm like, no, I actually mean it. This other guy tries to chime in, and she goes, excuse me, but I was talking to him. She points to me, and I was just like, holy shit, like this woman is perfect. But to this day, I still have 2 Nintendo lanyards. She left the store, and my coworker who called me chicken was sitting on the counter, and the girl left, and I said, Foo, should I go get her? And just as I'm about to go out and give her my number and talk to her, because I thought this was like the one, the guy that recommended the game to her that she told not to was actually the new manager taking over, and he gets into a shoving match with my coworker who's sitting on the counter, and I have to break it up. Mona leaves. She calls, I think, a couple days later. We talk. We were supposed to have lunch together, but her work didn't let her. But she was just like, I want you to eat. I want you to make sure that you don't wait for me. I don't want to flake on you. And you ever see that SpongeBob episode where he only knows about breathing and fine dining, and he's the waiter? Yeah, where he does the breathing and fine dining. That was me. I was basically SpongeBob. The only thing I knew was my name. But I did ask her, I said, what's your name? Like, you're really cool. And she said, Mona. So to this day, Mona, I still have the lanyard. She told me her name, but I didn't ask for her last name, number. I didn't give her my number. I didn't give her my full name. I kind of blew it, but I attached special memories to Metroid Fusion and Mona and Metroid Prime. But Metroid is a great game. The graphics are really, really good. It's my favorite 2D Metroid. The music's really good. The power-ups are really cool. I love the zoo that's there. Probably the best Game Boy Advance game I've ever played. So I would definitely pick it up. And Mona, if you somehow get this message, you were listening and you were at the Valco Fashion Park Electronics Boutique downstairs in November of 2002. I still have the lanyard I'd like to give you. I hope you're still enjoying video games, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that story time, because there's a lot of special memories attached to this game. So this is gonna be a bonus part. I was gonna make a video solely dedicated to the 3DS and the journey that I went on and how the 3DS kept me company, but I think I'll just add it here. This will be bonus content. In 2013, at the end of 2013, I lost my job, and then at the beginning of, or halfway through 2014, I lost my car. I was in a car crash, it got totaled, I lost my car. I have keratoconus in my eyes, and I have to wear contacts, and I lost one of my contact lenses. I had to wear my glasses. We were evicted from our home, and it was just a clusterfuck of just things happening in like rapid succession. And the place that we lived at, we weren't allowed to have consoles. And so what I ended up doing to scratch my itch, because I'm a lifelong gamer, was I bought a 3DS. I want to say it was January of 2015, I think, or December of 2014. I ended up buying an XL NES 3DS, and I loaded that bad boy with Mario Sticker Star, Project Steam, Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy. I mean, just a ton of games. And it was the only way, Smash Brothers, it was the only way that I actually got to play video games, because I wasn't allowed to have consoles in the house. My storage got broken into, and I used to collect a ton of video games. We're talking from the Atari all the way to PS3, and I'd say about 3/4 of the games got stolen. The 3DS was a godsend for me. I love the Street Pass. I love the puzzle pieces. I don't know. I have the softest spot in my heart for the 3DS. I love the Mario game, the 3D Mario game. That was really good. And I love the Mario Kart game. To this day, though, because it was such a special time in my life, like I said, I'm not a handheld gamer, but I am someone that gets moved by hardships and stuff and things that were there for me. So the 3DS was there for me. So I still have it. I keep that thing charged, but I don't really play on it. I leave my record the same way it was from the last time I played it in 2014 and 2015. I never record over the data. But yeah, 3DS, I do love you, and I thank you for accompanying me on that hellish journey from 2014 or 2015 all the way to 2016. Thank you, 3DS. Alrighty, guys, that about does it for the top handheld games, in my opinion, of all time that I love. What are your guys'? You guys like handheld games? I know it's big in Japan, but in America, not so much. But the Switch is pretty cool. I like playing DBD in handheld mode on my couch, so there is some coolness with consoles kind of gravitating towards a hybrid console / handheld. I think there's some coolness to that. But in terms of just a straight handheld, I don't think I could do that anymore. The 3DS was a great swan song. But yeah, hope to hear from you guys, and you let me know what you think about your picks. And if you know Mona, send her my way. Tell her I said hi. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Till next time.